I find even more disgusting is the fact that when you go online, more people seem to be bothered about the religion, color, and political aspirations of the people that did this. Yet, I think for about 5 or 6 hours on the internet, on Twitter, Facebook, I didn't see one person wish well the victim or the family of the victim. Nobody even cared about the victim. Nobody cared that somebody got killed who was innocent. You know, I think it's disgusting. What are we turning into? Really and truly, how sad has it become in our society that when someone gets killed, we're more concerned about what religion the person who killed them was. And I see a lot of people on both sides now using this as propaganda. Two different groups on two totally different sides who don't care about the person who was harmed. They just care about how they can use this story to spin whatever story they want to tell. So on the far right, you've got the EDL and the likes using this as a reason to hate all Muslims and bash Muslims and so on and so forth. They don't care about the guy that got killed. They're not talking about the guy that got killed. They haven't made any. I didn't see any single. I actually went on to known EDL members' pages. I did not see anybody commenting on, oh, it's really sad and my prayers go out to the family of this person. Same thing with people on the far other side who are trying to justify the actions of these madmen, saying, oh, yeah, well, if you think that's bad, what about the kids in Palestine? Yes, I agree, the kids in Palestine, they're dying every day. But trust me, I don't think those kids would justify what just happened yesterday in England. And if you actually justify the actions of these mad people in Woolwich, then you justify whatever repercussions happen. So tomorrow, if your sister or friend or Muslim friend or whoever is walking down the street and they get hurt by an EDL member who wants revenge, or if not an EDL member, some crazy right-wing fascist, you agree that what they've done is right. The same thing with EDL members who say, oh, yeah, well now it's open season on Muslims. If it's open season on Muslims because of the actions of these two idiots in Woolwich, then you agree that with the logic of the two Muslims that did this in the first place because they claim to be doing it because of war in their lands. I don't know what land they were talking about because the only land they sounded like they came from was Peckham. So I just think we need to slow down and start thinking. You have to understand that there's a little bit of a symbiosis of hate going on, whereby one group of hatred, one hatred group, one extremist group can only exist because of the other. So all these people on the right that want to kick out all Muslims, and I'm telling you now, that's not going to happen. You know, I mean, this whole idea of kicking Muslims out of the UK. Okay, what about Muslims who are from the UK? What about Muslims born and bred in England? What about white English Muslims, a fast-growing demographic? Should they be kicked to another country simply because of the actions of two drug addicts in Woolwich? And also, why is it that whenever, and I'm not defending what these guys did, but why is it that whenever an action takes place and it's done by somebody from a minority, like say Muslims, then it's terrorism. But when it's someone else, it's not terrorism. When Breivik shot down so many people, it was not called terrorism. Well, actually it was, when they thought it was a Muslim that did it. But the moment they found out there was a guy who did it in the name of white European Christian culture, it was no longer terrorism. He was mad. Well, pardon me, but I would like to think the two guys who would crash a car and behead a guy in broad daylight are quite clearly mad themselves. And even the term terrorist and the term extremist to me is false. Do you know why? Because when you say someone's an extremist, it means they're doing something that they've been taught to do, but they're doing it to an extreme. Islam does not teach, from what I know, from what I've been taught, Islam does not teach the wanton murder of innocent, unarmed civilians. So, if this guy killed one unarmed civilian, he is not an extremist, he is mad. An extreme is, oh, you're told to kill one person and you kill 300. That's an extreme. You're doing a lot of something you've been shown. If I'm a vegetarian and I eat 2,000 hamburgers in the name of vegetarianism, I'm still not a vegetarian extremist because I just did something that's against the whole concept of being a vegetarian. And these things, the media, they're so good at all these false flag media spins on stories. So, the trend on Twitter, Muslim, terrorist. And the thing is, even if you respond to these trends, even if you respond to people being Islamophobic, you're still perpetuating this because anybody who just looks on is going to see, well, but not all Muslims are terrorists. You're still putting the word Muslim and terrorist in the same sentence on the internet. The two words get paired constantly together to the point where people don't even know what the word terrorist means. So when you say the word terrorist, the first picture that comes into their mind is a Muslim. And I'm sorry, but not just Muslims commit terrorist acts. There have been loads of terrorist acts. In fact, the majority of terrorist acts that have occurred in Europe and America have been done by non-Muslims. And again, I'm not defending what happened. It's absolutely disgusting. But if you think that just because two idiots did something, you have the right to hate an entire group of people, 1.8 billion people, then you're just as disgusting as the people that did what they did yesterday. A man has already been arrested for trying to burn down a mosque. If he had succeeded and there were little children inside this mosque, the little kids who had nothing to do with whatever happened they would have died. And you're telling me, if you justify open season on Muslims, you're telling me that it's completely okay to murder innocent people. Then how are you better than these two people that you claim are spawning your hate? It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. And this is an open letter to anybody watching. Do make concern to Muslims. Please stop going on trying. We don't even. Someone online told me that I should disassociate myself from the actions of these men. I'm not associated with those actions in the first place. I don't owe you an explanation for what they did because I don't support what they did. And you know what? No Muslims do. Yeah? As long as I didn't do anything, you've never heard me say that I support murder. I do not need to tell you that I don't agree with what they did. Because if I agreed with murder, then a lot of people would be dead by now. If every single Muslim in England was a murderer, if every single Muslim in England was a terrorist, then you would be dead by now. You wouldn't have made it home yesterday. So please stop the generalizations. Media, please, for God's sake, when a black man kills a black man, why is it black on black crime? But when a white man kills a white man, it's just murder. Why? Not long ago in Small Heath, a man got murdered on the street on his way back from the mosque. Nobody put this on the front page. This wasn't an act of terrorism. This wasn't an act of extremism. Breivik's actions were not extremism. Look what happened with the Gurdwara Sahib in America. A bunch of Sikhs got shot down. Nobody called the man who did this a terrorist. Why is it that you always have to wait for a Muslim to do something before it's terrorism? If it's madness, then let it be madness throughout. These men were mad. The man that did the Sandy Hook shooting was mad. Breivik is mad. It's all madness. Stop making it a double standard because all you're doing is breeding more hate. And if you really want peace, then that's the last thing you should be doing. This is the most emotional I've ever been doing a video because I can't stand it. I already have 3 friends who've been attacked in hate crimes after little media scares like this. And tell me, how many people even know the name of the guy that got murdered? How many? Exactly. Because people are too busy looking for reasons to hate each other over the death of one man. My prayers are with the family of this man. My prayers are with the families of the people in Palestine and Syria and Iraq and Sudan and every other country where people are being killed. But